Before we begin, make sure you hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and the unbelievable fortunes hiding in plain sight. Because today, my friend, we're diving into a coin that looks ordinary until you discover the secret that could make it worth $7 million. Now imagine this. You're sorting through an old tin box, maybe something your father or grandfather left behind. Inside are the usual suspects, some worn-out coins, a few faded banknotes, and then your fingers touch something a little different. A coppery shimmer. You pick it up, hold it closer to the light, and there it is, the 1996 South African 50-cent coin. You turn it over, see the familiar coat of arms, and the words, South Africa 1996. It's small, simple, unassuming, and yet, this humble piece of metal carries a story that could change everything you thought you knew about modern money. Let's step back for a moment to the South Africa of the mid-1990s. The air was electric with change. Nelson Mandela had become president just 2 years before. The nation was transforming, rebuilding, redefining itself after decades of struggle. And in that period, even the coins were part of that transformation. Every minting carried a message, a mark of a new era, a symbol of pride and progress. The 50-cent coin was one of them, made mostly of bronze-plated steel. The 1996 50-cent piece featured the striking image of the Strelitzia regeni, better known as the bird of paradise flower, symbolizing beauty, freedom, and resilience. To most people, it was just another coin for small change, tossed into jars or spent without a second thought. But among collectors and historians, whispers began to spread, rumors of a rare variation, a minting error, or perhaps a limited batch that escaped the mint's notice. And no one paid much attention at first. After all, who would believe that a coin from the 1990s, still seen in circulation just a few years ago, could be worth anything beyond its face value? But as time passed, something fascinating began to happen. Collectors started noticing details, minute differences in the engraving, slight shifts in the alignment, unusual coloring that appeared on some of the 1996 coins. Some even reported versions struck with a misaligned die or an off-metal composition. Theories spread like wildfire. Was it a testing batch? A minting experiment? Or perhaps a mistake that somehow survived the strict quality controls of the South African mint? And here's where the story deepens. Over the years, the global coin market has exploded. Collectors are no longer just hobbyists, they're investors, historians, and treasure hunters rolled into one. They're chasing the next big discovery, the one coin that everyone overlooked. And that's where the 1996 South African 50-cent coin quietly began its rise from obscurity to legend. Stories started emerging of collectors who sold rare variations of this coin for staggering amounts. Auction houses began receiving inquiries. And those who owned 1996 coins, especially in pristine, uncirculated condition, suddenly found themselves part of a global mystery hunt. Everyone wanted to know which one was the real treasure. Which piece could command a life-changing price. But here's something fascinating for you to think about. Coins aren't just about metal or mint marks. They're about memory. About the time they represent. For someone who lived through the 90s, that 50-cent coin might remind you of a trip to the corner shop or the first few years after South Africa's rebirth. It's a token of history, and history, when preserved, can become priceless. Now picture this, a collector sits quietly in his study, flipping through his coin book. He notices something, a faint doubling in the lettering, a shine slightly different from the others. He sends it for grading, expecting maybe a small premium. But when the results return, the grading experts confirm it, an exceptionally rare 1996 variant, one of perhaps only a handful known to exist. News spreads. A private auction is arranged. The bids climb higher and higher, crossing hundreds of thousands, then millions. By the end, the hammer drops at a jaw-dropping $7 million. It sounds unbelievable, doesn't it? But that's the magic of numismatics, the art of coin collecting. It turns the ordinary into the extraordinary, the forgotten into the unforgettable. One coin, struck nearly 30 years ago, meant for small change, becomes a symbol of value beyond measure. So, what makes this particular coin so powerful in the eyes of collectors? It's not just rarity, it's the story. The 1996 South African 50-cent coin sits at the intersection of heritage and transformation. It's a tangible link to a time when a nation was redefining itself, and every coin minted was part of that journey. Its bronze sheen isn't just metal, it's memory, pride, and progress pressed into one small circle. For those who still have a jar of old coins at home, this is your sign. Dig them out. Examine each one carefully. Look at the year, the design, the edges, the tiny details most people overlook. Because sometimes, the fortune you dream about isn't hidden in a vault or buried treasure, it's right there, sitting quietly in your own home, waiting for you to notice. And let's be honest, there's something deeply satisfying about the idea that a piece of change from your younger days could now be worth more than most houses. It reminds us that life itself has a way of surprising us when we least expect it. Whether you're a lifelong collector, a casual enthusiast, or simply someone who appreciates a good story about history and hidden value, the 1996 South African 50-cent coin deserves a place in your imagination. Because it's not just a coin, it's a symbol of how the smallest things can hold the greatest worth. Before we close, take a moment to think about your own journey. The things you've held on to, the pieces of your past that seemed ordinary at the time. Maybe, just maybe, among them lies your own $7 million story. So go ahead, subscribe if you haven't already, stay tuned for more incredible discoveries, and keep your eyes open for that glint of bronze that might just change everything. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, the estimated top value ever recorded for a rare 1996 South African 50-cent coin, an astonishing $7 million.